Hi, so we're approaching a full moon and it's such a special time, and people often ask me about what are the energetics of a full moon, or oh, I feel so good on the full moon, or why do I feel so not good on the full moon, and what's going on here, and what are the practices that I should be doing to honor the moon phase and the effects of the moon on me, right? So that's what I want to talk about today. So, the full moon. So, the moon actually governs the most primal part of your brain, which is called the limbic system. And this is where the hypothalamus is, this is where the pituitary gland is, this is where the amygdala is, this is where all of your primal emotions come from. This is where all of your hormonal cycles begin. It's intimately related with every major system of the body, right? And there are beautiful books that I can comment and sort of share resources later that actually delineate the exact neurobiophysiological effects of the moon phases on the body. But all ancient cultures knew this already, and many women are really tuning into the moon phases and the effects on her moon cycle, her menstrual cycle, right? So suffice it to say that we know as human beings the moon affects us and the moon phases affect us. So how is that effect? So when the moon is at her most robust and full and juicy, everything inside of us also becomes more full. So now here's the clincher. If you're in a really good place, the full moon can be a time where you're supple and juicy and you have great ojas and you are just feeling so good about life and so robust, and you don't feel very stressful because it's almost like you've got this buffer against life, you know, this fullness, this juiciness, this suppleness about your attitude, even not just your tissues, right, about your emotional wellness. However, if you're in a place where you're deeply internally conflicted or you're very depleted, the fullness that happens in that emotional center can also feel like you're so full of the emotion, the anxiety, or so full and heavy with the depression, or you're so consumed with just the level and the intensity of the emotional fullness of whatever emotion it is that you're feeling. And that also I see all the time around the full moon. So that might sort of help to explain for some people why it is that not everybody feels fantastic and fertile and ready to go out and connect and birth and manifest in the full moon like we can be when we're in a place of repletion, right? So this is just a little bit of background on what it feels like at the full moon time. And if you're a woman and you're having your cycle on the full moon, no one's talking about this, but what it feels like is you're most full and ripe and powerful in your ability to sense what is no longer serving you. So if you happen to be on your menses in the full moon, just know that you've peaked. You're releasing, discerning, let go of what's not serving you potential at this time. So even though usually we flow with the new moon, that is a special thing that happens that you can feel as well. So for everybody else, what do we do on the full moon? How do we honor this time? Well, we honor this time by understanding that wherever I'm at, it's going to feel so much of it. It's going to be very full. It's going to be pretty to the brim with whatever it is that I'm feeling. So it's a time to really celebrate and put your attention on what you want your attention to be on. So this is not a time to do your releasing. This is not a time to do your fire ceremonies. This is not a time for that. This is a time to just refocus your attention on what it is that you want to feel. And even if that's only in your life in a very few ways, you augment those ways by giving it so much of your full attention and not giving your attention to the things that you don't want to feel. Because this is the time where you're training, you're recoding what you want to be full of. Yeah? So this is my big advice to everybody on the full moon. Think about, what do I want to be full of? And put your attention there. Put your attention there. Celebrate it in every way that you can. Augment it. Talk about it. Bask in it as much as possible. And of course, if you're already in a good place and you're feeling the full moon, then this is time actually for water ceremony and putting out things into the world and birthing them. So enjoy the full moon, everybody.